Hi there, this is Shrikant Dasari from Dasari Tuts. Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to learn about how to define member functions within the class with return type. Okay, so in the last lesson, we have seen how to define member function with arguments, with specific number of arguments. So we haven't dealt with how to return a value back to the main function from the member function, which is defined inside a class here. Okay, so first let me launch the IDE. So we know that we are using Visual Studio 2013 for Windows desktop, which takes a couple of seconds to load. So it is an awesome IDE to write code for C, whether C or C++. Okay, so I'm just creating a new project here. So file, it's just completely loading. So file, new project. Okay, so as soon as you click the project, the window pops here. Let's name the project as class and object 8, if I'm not wrong, class and object 8. Okay, so since this is the 8th lesson in our object-oriented programming with C++ series, okay, so it's getting loaded. Okay, we have the very blank project directories here. So in source files directory, I'm just creating a new cpp file here, source.cpp, or it can, uh, let's say it as member return, whatever you wanted. Okay, so whatever you wanted, you can name your project. So member return, something like that. Okay, so add it. Yes, we have the blank .cpp file. So let's add all the basic stuff like header files. So hash include. I was string. Let's add our namespace. So using namespace std, so which is very essential. So and then we have our class definition goes like this. So let's define a class for this purpose as a rectangle. Okay, so let's define a class rectangle, and let's have some private members for the rectangle class here. So the rectangle class. So here our intention is to define. So here our intention is to define a class. So here our intention is to define a class where we can find the area of a rectangle. So which is the area is returned back to the main, and it also the whatever the member function you are going to use is having some sort of arguments. Okay, so let's take two variables here. Let's take them as double, since length and breadth. Okay, so double length, showing some sort of error. Okay, so double length and double width. Okay, so double length and double width, and so public. Let's define a member function for that. To keep it simple, let's do only one member function. So let's say it as double. Let's say area. Okay, so let's have some what do you call variables to handle the arguments. So let's keep them also double only, since we might pass what we call the floating point variables from the tone of the function here. Okay, so we have double x and double y. So here we need to take another variable here. So let's make it as a result, another variable to handle the calculation of the result. So the result goes like this. Since area is equal to length into breadth, we need to do that small calculation. So result is equal to x, or else let's initialize whatever the values we are getting from the main function here. So to do that, like length is equal to x and width is equal to y, and let's say result of our calculation, result is equal to length into breadth. Okay, so then we can return, using the return statement, we can return our result here. Okay, so we have taken length into width, length and width, length and breadth, or width, whatever you wanted, you can say that. We can have taken width here. Okay, so we have returned the result. So let's take an other function, or else not necessary. Okay, not necessary. We have done with our member function, single member function, to keep it simple. So now let's write our main function here. So main, so int main, so cm.get is a method we are introducing from this lesson uh, to make the output stand still. Okay, so return 0. Okay, so now what we have to do is we need to create an object for our rectangle class such that we can access that, we can send some values to the member function and do the calculation inside the member function and return some values from the member function. Okay, so rectangle r1 so is the name of the member function. So you can call your method r1 dot area. You can say something like this, or else you can say you can take another variable. So double res is equal to catch that what we call the result here. Okay, since you're returning a result from the member function, so let's say 11.2 and 33.4, some sort of calculation will happen. Okay, uh, so what you're going to do is, so if you print the result here by using the system.out, sorry, so by using the cout statement here, and if you run the program until now by using F5, okay. So what happens here is the method, sorry, the member function gets called automatically, and then it passes the variables, it receives the variables, and does some calculation and returns the result here. Okay, so if you observe here in the console window, I am just increasing the font size such that it's viewable. Okay, so this is the result of our calculation. Since we have passed 11.2 and 33.4, so this is the area of that particular rectangle. Okay, so in the same way, you can take. So in the same way, you can create another object here. So let's say rectangle R2. Okay, so rectangle R2, another object, and what you can do is, so directly instead of taking another variable, you can make your call to the member function directly using this object here. So R2 dot area of let's take other couple of values. Now let's say 33.4 and 55.6 and so on and so forth. So before that, let's put this format string such that the output will be. So if I run the program, it executes and puts the result here. Okay, okay. Let's, if you want with more clarity, let's put some more messages here. So whenever if you are giving an output, the area of, you can say something like this: the area of rectangle, the area of rectangle R1, or something like that. Okay, and the same message you can keep put another message here, like the area of rectangle R2 is equal to the area of rectangle R2 is equal to. Okay, so if you run the program once again, uh, so you get the area of both the rectangles here. Okay, so in this way you can build a member function. I go to full screen once again. Excuse me. So if you can build a member function with a return type here. Okay, so to summarize once again, here let me put a heading here. Let me say that so member functions defined inside the class, so with arguments and return types. Okay, so this is the huge comment, the title which we are going to do here. So to summarize once again, we have taken a class here, class named rectangle, and we have taken two private members of this class which are not accessible outside the class, which are double length and width are the two basic parameters if you want to calculate the area of any rectangle. And then we have defined a method using area, double area here. Okay, So in that we have calculated the area of the rectangle using the formula length into breadth, and stored that in the result variable, and then we have returned that result variable here. Okay, we have returned that result variable, and we have got that result using this another variable here, double res, and then we have made a call to our public member function here. Okay, so that in that way you can define a member function with arguments and return type and so on and so forth. So see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.